Hi, Pepsi. It's Kneil Novak, and for those of you who don't know me, I do my best to lead men's ministry at Pepsi. And so, Will asked if I would participate in this Lectio Divina exercise and record my thoughts on Psalm 23. And so, one of the first steps in the process and the exercise is to quiet yourself. And so, to be honest, for me today, that was a really hard step. Um, I've been on conference calls. Working from home is not normal for me. I usually am in more of an office setting. And so to figure out how to do work from home and also have my family here because I have a 11 and 8-year old who are trying to do school as well. And so it hasn't been quiet around here. So for me to quiet myself was kind of a difficult thing. But eventually I was able to do that and get into the word. And so the word or phrases really that stood out to me as I reflected on Psalm 23 today was this idea that God renews our strength, and also the idea that says, "Surely your goodness and mercy." I was reading New Living Translation that uses the word pursue, which has been a big word for me this year. And so just the idea that God pursues us in order to renew our strength is kind of what stood out to me. And I've been taking a resilience course over the last few days. And so I've been reflecting on my life and just a few of the moments in my life, I guess, where I really feel like God has renewed my strength. I wanted to be a fighter pilot from the time I was a little kid, and so I went to Air Force ROTC and all that, and ended up getting a pilot slot. So long story short, at 25 years old, I was eliminated from the Air Force's pilot training program, and since that was my dream, since I was little, of course I was crushed. But I remember making a comment like when I was going through the process of elimination from the program that I said something to the effect of I was upset that my dream was going away. But I knew God had a plan for my life, and I said, I don't know what that plan is, but I know that He has a plan for my life. And I began to experience God renewing my strength. And fast forward a couple of years, my wife was diagnosed with brain cancer, and just going through the diagnosis and the treatment process and all that sort of thing. As you might imagine, there were days and times where Jody and I were both at the end of ourselves and just needing God to renew our strength. And what we would always say is we had moments where we definitely experienced God's presence and the idea of Emmanuel, God with us, and God just renewing our strength. And then being deployed to Afghanistan with rocket and mortar attacks coming in, that can be a little disconcerting, as you might imagine. But again, the idea of God's, not only His protection and comfort, but His renewal and His pursuit of us and renewing our strength. When I was a little kid, like 8, 9, 10 years old, I had a children's Bible, and on the cover of the Bible, it actually had a picture of Jesus with a lamb on his shoulders. And so that was the idea for me today. It's just God, there's the story of the lost sheep and God going after the 90, or God leaving the 99 to go after the one. And I feel like throughout my life, Jesus has done that. He's pursued me and brought me back and renewed my strength. My in-laws are actually ranchers in South Dakota, and they had sheep for a period of time, and it was always funny to watch. First of all, sheep were easily spooked, right? They were afraid a lot, and when they would get spooked, maybe by their own shadow, they would take off running in some direction, and usually as a herd, but often one would kind of veer off, and so you'd have to go and calm it down and bring it back to the herd. And so these are difficult times for us, and it's easy to become scared, to have fear, and to just run off. And my prayer for you is, as for our congregation and really for our community, is that we would experience that idea of Jesus putting us on his shoulders and renewing our strength. So, hey, love y'all, and look forward to seeing you in person sometime real soon.